Hello my dears, today I have some book reviews to share with you. So here are my reviews. Vogue. This book is Damage by the Irish author Josephine Hart. Now it's set in the UK, it's very kind of quaint Englishness. It's about this man, he's middle class to upper class, he used to be a doctor, now he's a politician. He's a politician because his wife's father was a politician, and so he's kind of brought him into the business. He's got 2 children, he's living a very normal, happy life, he's got a great wife, everything seems to be going well for him, and very typically what you would look in English society is like perfect. The perfect, untouchable, middle class, lovely lifestyle. Then his son introduces his new girlfriend Anna to his dad, and he falls in love with Anna, and him and Anna start having an affair. So he's having an affair with his son's girlfriend, and that's what this book is about. And this book is one of my all-time favourite books now. It is so good, and the reason it is good is the characters within it, the psychology within the whole entire situation, all told from our main character. This was-be a doctor, now a politician, publicly seen as this perfect man, is all told from his point of view. And Anna, to him, it's not really attraction of like a nice relationship, it's like she's a drug and he has to get to her, and he knows it's wrong, and he knows there's going to be terrible consequences. Throughout the whole thing is foreshadowing that a great tragedy is going to come about because of his relationship with his son's girlfriend, and that is going to break everyone around him. There are sex scenes in it, and they're very kind of bondage, so they set out boundaries. And she will say, so she'll give him something like, use this to tie me up. There's a bit in it where she has a book, she buys a book, and she says in it, write in the book what date you want to see me, and I will come and see you on that date. And I will be, you can do whatever you want to me and I'll be with you. But it's all within boundaries, it's all within rules, like true BDSM relationships. So it's all on both consenting sides, and that's why I think it's really good. But this isn't, it has got erotic elements within it, but it's not, the whole book isn't erotic. I can talk about this book all day, like I'm trying to like keep my thoughts together. So within it, Anna has had a lot of damage, and that's why it's called Damage, because in it she talks about stuff that have happened in her life that have damaged her as a person, and she says stuff like the reason people fear damaged people isn't because we're damaged, it's because we know how to survive. Josephine, oh what an incredible writer, because the structure of this is amazing. So you'll be on his side for a bit, you'll see his passion and you're like, I can see it from his point of view, but it's being incredibly selfish, and then he'll be having a conversation with his wife and you'll think, oh my god, his wife is so nice and his son is so lovely, and they don't know about his deceit, and so he just comes across as very pathetic, this pathetic creature crawling throughout the novel, grasping at this beautiful woman, and he's this pathetic creature. But Anna, you in many situations would see her as the other woman, a terrible, immoral, lying, scheming woman, but you don't. You see her as numb. She doesn't care, because she doesn't care about her life and what happens to her. She doesn't care about other people because she's been through too much pain. Something's happened, which she talks about in the book, and because of that she says like, I damage people and I don't mean to. And what happened in the book wasn't her fault at all, but it did damage someone's life and many other people's life, but it wasn't her fault. And it's like she can't stop men falling in love with her. There's so many interesting scenes in this is unbelievable. There's a great bit with Anna's stepdad is talking to our main character and saying to him, I know you're in love with her, like I can see it. The way you looked at her tonight, you're in love with her. But realise Anna isn't an evil woman. Men have this attraction towards her, and people love her or they hate her. So our main character, his wife hates Anna, and she doesn't know why. She just says there's something about her I don't like, whereas he is obsessed with her and really likes her. Another reason I like this is that you can look at this and think, you know, instinct doesn't really mean anything, and it's all about our actions and what we do, and that is 100% right, but it's talking about the importance of instinct. So there is something within him that is attracted to Anna, even though he knows it is wrong. Now that in itself, I don't think is wrong. I think being attracted to someone that you shouldn't be, another adult, but it's wrong because they're maybe your brother's girlfriend or something like that, I think that attraction doesn't make you an evil, bad person. So within this it's kind of saying we're all animals, really. We can be in love with someone and love them so much, but we might look at someone else and fantasize sexually about them or being with them, but that doesn't make us evil. What makes us bad people and makes us damage others is if we act on those emotions, which I think is a really honest thing to say. I just thought the whole thing was shocking. Like every second, every scene, the way it is written is so poetic, it's so beautiful, and it is such an honest, raw look at human emotion, and that us humans are very flawed, and that there are damaged people walking among us who continue to damage, but it's not their fault because she's damaged within herself. And I just thought it was so good. Anna, I loved her, and I still have no idea what drives her. In a lot of books, I feel like authors have to sum up all the characters and say this is their motive and this is what drives them within life. But Josephine just was like, Anna is Anna. You can draw your own conclusions to why she behaves the way she does. At the end, why she does what she does. What is her... don't know. You can draw it, and I love it when authors leave it like that. I loved Anna. I felt sympathy for her, and I didn't feel this evil cruelty, which I'm someone who, when it comes to affairs, I'm very black and white. I'm very much like, if you cheat on someone, you are a terrible individual. And even if you're not married to the person, if you're cheating with a married man, you are immoral and disgusting. Whereas I feel, looking at this, I did think that the man in this was immoral and disgusting, because he's lived this privileged, beautiful life, and he's going to crush it all because he wants to have sex with someone. That's very selfish. He is bad. But I didn't think the other woman was bad. I didn't think Anna was bad, because you got to know her backstory, and that everything she does within life has no meaning or purpose to it. Because she's numb, because she's suffered such tragedy within her life, she really doesn't care. And it was so profound and moving, this book. Oh my god, I could talk about it all day, I could just go on. And Anna isn't a hateful character at all. Like, I'm making her sound very bratty, but she's not. She's so honest and she's so raw, and she opens up to him about everything. And she's like, you know, I have nothing to hide because the worst has happened to me, so here's everything. Here you go, that's it. It's like she's tired of life. And oh god, she's one of the best characters ever. This was turned into a film. The film is fantastic as well, so read the book, see the film. It also got turned into an opera, and I haven't seen that, but I can so picture this in an opera. I can picture this in dance, in a play, in a musical. It's such a rich story and such a rich look at human emotions that it's just phenomenal. It really is. There's so many scenes in it that are coming into my head now that I'm like, tell them about this, tell them about that. But I'm not going to tell you anymore. I'm just going to say, this is really great. It's beautifully written. I didn't want to finish it. I really was savouring it. And when I got to the end of the chapter, I was like, let me put it down, because I want to savour how beautiful it is. And I craved Anna in the same way he did. Once you know what happens at the end, there's kind of a sense in you that's like, I need to reread this then, because now I know how the story ends. I need to reread it with the knowledge of knowing that I'm reading this now. Like, I'm already on chapter 2. I'm rereading it, and I'm not a massive rereader, but this, there's a charm, there's a magic in this book, which is just, read it, read it, read it, read it. Before I talk about this book, you may be wondering why the background's different. I'm on holiday in Dorset in the UK, and I just finished this book, and I was going to wait till I got home to talk about it, and I can't. I want to get my thoughts and feelings out about it now. Oh my god, it broke my heart. So this is a story about Pocahontas' actual life, told from the point of view of Pocahontas. It does split narratives sometimes to like the white settlers. This is by Shirley, and oh my god. So I'm sure a lot of people know the story of Pocahontas. So Pocahontas used to live somewhere which is now called Richmond, Virginia in America, but she used to live there with her family. This village was all built up. The beginning of the book is just talking about their way of life. It's really sense of family and unity, and it is hard because they have to like get the corn, and it's hard work, but they're all stepping in together and making this community work, and it's all working and it's all fine. And then the bloody British come over, don't we? So this is a true story. So the British then came over, which I call them the white settlers. The white settlers came over and decided that they were just going to take over the land. America was theirs now. That's it. You can leave. Doesn't matter how long you've been here. Off you go. So they started killing the Indians, and this is really interesting how in it, because it's told from Pocahontas, there's people saying, oh, they're killing the Indians with their sticks. They have these sticks that make this horrendous noise, and they're killing the Indians. There's the boyfriend there interrupting the review. He just came back into the room. So anyway, so they think that maybe the white settlers are gods. They have no idea what's going on with them, and they have no idea what guns are. They don't understand. So the white settlers basically want to take over their land and they see the Indians as savages and they don't care about them at all. They're brutal, horrible people. So what happens is all the chiefs get together and they decide that they are going to be nice to the white settlers. They're going to try and get along with them. They've got plenty of land that they can have. They're going to help them in any way they can. But the white settlers keep on killing Indians. Pocahontas meets someone called John Smith, and John Smith has like golden hair and she's never seen a white person with blonde hair and she's all enchanted by him, and he is very nice to her. So they form this friendship. John Smith then gets captured by an Indian chief and is taken around all the different villages, kind of like a freak show, like look at this person, we've never seen anyone that looks like this. So then he gets to Pocahontas village. Pocahontas isn't her first name, she gets another name which stands for Little Cloud because there's been no rain, and then when she's born there's loads of rain, and so that's her original name. And then she is really good at racing and running and she just wants to be a boy, so she challenges a boy to a race and she wins, and so she gets called Pocahontas, which is the water swiftly flowing. So she is now called Pocahontas, nicknamed that by everyone. So her and John Smith have got this friendship going on. He's been kidnapped. He goes to Pocahontas village, and because the white settlers have killed so many Indian people, they decide that they're going to kill John Smith. Pocahontas then throws herself in front of him before he's about to be killed, and she says, no, take my life. And the females in the village, what they can do is they can, if someone's like condemned to die, they can say kind of like, take me as well. So give him a second chance, but if he does something wrong, then you can kill me and him, both of us, 2-for-1 deal there. He then says, can I go back to my men, because they've set up their settlement on like this marshland that isn't right and they can't grow crops and they don't know what they're doing. So he says, can we take some food to them? Can we go and help them out in some way? And the chief says 100%. We're going to give them food, we're going to be kind to them, we're going to give them land, which is fertile land that they can grow stuff on. So they go back there, and what happens is they take John Smith and they take all the stuff, and they've been starving and they've been killing Indian people. But also what's happened is when John Smith was kidnapped, they thought the Indians had killed him, so they started burning Indian villages and killing loads of Indians. So there's kind of a little bit of like, they're still killing the Indians, but Pocahontas village isn't fully aware of this. So they're giving them food and being very nice to these white settlers, teaching them how to make crop and really helping them out. And then John Smith becomes ill, and he is really like their kind of peace offering, although it's not peaceful. Like, it's talking about the peace, but they're still killing Indians throughout the whole entire process. He gets ill and has to sail back to England, and then they all get told that he's actually died at sea. So when he dies at sea, there's a new person that comes over who just hates Indian people, and it breaks out in this massive war. And then Pocahontas gets kidnapped by the white settlers, and they keep her because they want to have some kind of power over her dad, who's the chief, and they're doing deals with them. And then they decide they're going to get Pocahontas, who is a princess of an Indian chief, to marry one of the white settlers, one of the captains, so that maybe there can be some kind of peace and bond between those two cultures. So they make her marry this man. She then has a child with this man. They send her off to England. She meets the Queen and King and all these different people, and then she dies in England just before she's about to come back to her own land, which was hers before they even got there. She dies. She dies of an illness, and that's it. It's so sad. It's just horrific, like the whole entire thing. How they just take over like her land, all the land, they don't even care. An interesting thing as well is that when Pocahontas had a son, her dad, the chief, put aside a load of land where he lived for his grandson to have one day. When she died, he got put in a village in England and just left. And his dad came back to America and just left his son there. Pocahontas, his child, left him, but he came back as an adult and lived on the land that his chief grandfather gave him. So he did come back, but the whole thing is just so sad. It's so well written, everything though. The way it's from Pocahontas' side, the pictures are stunning throughout it as well. Let me show you some of the sketches there. Are really beautiful. It broke my heart. It was so good. Also, I was reading it like non-stop, wasn't I? What was it, like 4 AM? I couldn't sleep, so I started reading. Like, I've already got a bit into it, and I thought I'll just read a few more pages. I just couldn't stop reading, can I? Like hours. I was trying to sleep next to me. I had my light on, just like, yeah, just reading. So this is from Signature Biographies. They've done them on loads of different people. This is Pocahontas, written by Shirley Graham, and it will break your heart. I've just finished this tiny book which is so gorgeous. I would highly recommend any book lovers getting this. This is called The Language of Flowers, and what it is, stunning covers and stunning illustrations inside, and it's basically just what flowers mean. So on a list here it will have flowers, so like, or like plants. So basil means hatred. Did you ever know that? And then orchis means industry, and it's just the language of flowers, so what they actually mean. The reason I got this, right, I saw this in a charity shop, and there's a Rosemary and Thyme which is called like the language of flowers, and it's about a gardener has come before them and planted all these flowers, and Rosemary and Thyme are like, what a weird selection of flowers to plant by a waterfall. Oh, wait a minute, this one means betrayal. And this one, or maybe the gardener's telling us something. It's a murder, da 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 da. That's not the tune. Looks like this light makes me look like an angel. It looks actually like a ghost teller. I actually look like a creepy ghost. Like, this is a little close-up of the book. It's really tiny as well, just so you can get a real picture for it. So the plant names, and then it's all just got gorgeous borders around it and just stunning plants. So yeah, definitely one of the best books this year. Stunning. This book here is Beryl Cook's New York. So Beryl Cook was a UK artist, and for 3 weeks in 1983 her and her husband went to New York, and this book is just about those 3 weeks. So the layout of this is she'll have a picture, and then here she'll be telling you about the picture. So she's very sassy, there'll be like a little anecdote, or she'll tell you what they were doing that day or what she thinks of those people in New York. Now the thing about Beryl Cook is that she was like a successful artist, and you can normally go around a UK person's house and you will see one of Beryl Cook's drawings there, but she had this idea of being a normal woman. That was the whole thing without it. So you wouldn't think of Beryl Cook as this kind of pretentious or even luxurious artist, even though like she made a lot of money out of her work, because she kept this persona of a normal woman that she came into it with and she left with it. And I really love that. I love just like a working class woman doing her thing and like saying, you know, I am successful and everything, but I'm still me. And I really love that. I loved the introduction to this, because in the introduction she says that she's never been one of the people that are dancing up on the tables and an eccentric, loud, fun party person. That's just not her. And so the only thing she can really offer to the world is drawing those people. She wishes she could dance on tables and do all that, but she just can't. It's not within her personality. So she said, I'm always on the outside observing the odd, eccentric people, and that's what I love. So full of this book is loads of people that she met that are really odd, that like if you met them you think they were mental in real life. Just great eccentric people, which I think eccentric people make the world a better place. As a shy person, I connected with this so much. Let me go back on that point for a second. I've said before on the channel I am very shy, and people go, no you're not, because you wouldn't put videos on the internet. But understand that I am in my flat by myself talking to a camera. There's no one here. So I'm going to be chatty, you know yourself, and you chat to yourself, and with close friends obviously I am chatty, but with the majority of people I'm a very shy individual. So I loved this. I feel like if you're shy you'll love it. If you're a shy person you're never in the action ever, you're always an observer within life really. That's just your personality, and you find it very difficult to break through that. It's very difficult to talk about being shy, because I think people think, oh, it's a phase and you'll grow out of it. You can't just snap out of it. You can't change your personality. You can't even push yourself. Like sometimes if I'm like seeing family and stuff that I haven't seen for a long time, I'll say to myself like, I want to be in the conversation, I want to be in the group, I want to be a part of this, and I physically can't. It's just my personality trait. Is that saying never trust a shy person because they're watching everything, and that is so true. I feel like being shy does give you kind of a superpower, because you know people better than their friends do, because their friends are connecting and talking to them, but you're actually looking at their facial expressions and how they actually feel about that person, and how they're actually responding like involuntary emotions towards that person. So we are superheroes, let me say that. Beryl was certainly one, and I just love her kind of normal woman persona, and that she spent 3 weeks in New York, which is a very luxurious, fabulous thing to do for an English person. That's like, you've got to have money to do that. yet she still comes across as a normal person, and I don't get it, and I really loved it. I felt like I was on holiday with Beryl, and that me and her were linked arms with her husband the other side, and we were just trotting around New York looking at the different sites, going through this book. So she did loads of different art, and she did loads of different books based on different things. She's done one on London, which is the next one I'm getting. I think this is a nice love letter to the shy people, but also to remember that sometimes you do have to be a part of the action. I mean, as it says in Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame, if you just watch the world, then you're going to watch the world go by. So I hope you enjoyed those reviews. I have loads more books to review. I have a full box here. Oh my god, this is a terrible idea. The box is going to fall on me. Oh girl. This is like all the books that I've read recently that I need to review. But I really like to get in depth in my reviews, and you know me, like psychoanalysis, You know me, I like to really delve in deep with the book and give you my opinions. Obviously I could talk about these in like one session, give them a minute each, but you wouldn't really learn a lot about the books. You know I'm a chatter. So just know there's a lot of reviews coming your way in the next few weeks. There'll be like loads of review videos. I hope you enjoyed my reviews of these books, and I'll see you again soon for another video.
Oh my god, it's like a violin! Da, da, da! Wonder if I can hold it with my chin. Oh no.